Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. This is an impromptu live, and I will not be here long, so I'm just going to give it a couple minutes for people to come on in. Let me go to comments. Hey, hello, hello, hello. Hey, let's talk about it all. Hey, how are you? How are you doing? Yeah, this is an impromptu live, and I will not be here long. This is just a quick story time. This is a quick story time, and I had to tell you all this, right? Very, very quick story time. So let me give it like another minute and then we'll start so that I can tell the story and then go about my day. Hey Donna, how you doing? It's one cat. Hey girl, Miss Tree Moon. Hey, how you doing? Listen, so many things have happened. So many things have happened, but I wanted to tell you all something. I wanted to share this story with you all really quickly. Not Donna saying it's going to be a good story time. It might be. Listen, maybe you'll deem it as a good story time. Maybe you won't. But let me preface this story time by saying, hey Alvin, let me just preface this by saying that all of us have choices to make as we live this life, as we live this earthly life here in 3D on this planet. All of us have choices to make every day to to do what is right, to be, decent people, to help others, or to be degenerates, to be ill behaving members of society, to, whatever it is. We all have to choose, right? But there are consequences, for the most part, of every decision that we make, right? Hey, Sleepy Bee. Consequences for every decision that we make. So, sometimes the consequences are earthly consequences, being, punished by the law. Sometimes there are spiritual consequences, getting your ass tore up by spirit, and then sometimes there are both, right? Hey, Sleepy Bee girl. Yeah. So you know, whatever it is that you choose to do with your life, you make the decisions as far as the actions that you take. Um, so the topic of this story time is retribution. Retribution. Okay. And I'm also getting dressed. I'm putting on my workout clothes so I can go downstairs and work out. So if you hear any shuffling in the background, I'm literally putting on my workout clothes. Yes, Starry Eyed. Starry Eyed asks, is this about the post? It sure is about the post. It sure is. And I won't give too many details, but I'll give you all enough so that you understand, right? So, um, some of you may know, some of you may not know that my husband's family suffered great loss some years ago when my husband's brother was murdered in cold blood. So trigger warning, this is about, you know, this is story time about that. You know, I don't have children, so I do not know how painful it was for my mother-in-law to experience such loss, okay? I do know that parents whose children die or are killed before them, they become different people. They become shells of themselves, right? I saw the same thing happen when my sister died, right? My oldest sister, she died unexpectedly in September of 2018. Yeah. Um, and after she died, my father was a shell of himself. Okay. So let me just say that I don't have children. I don't know what it's like, but I do know what pain looks like. So, story time again. My husband's brother was murdered some years back. He was not one of those, communitized stereotypes, okay? He was smart. He was very family oriented. Um, he was actually doing the right thing. He was actually looking for a place for his girlfriend and son to move into to live, right? His girlfriend had just had his first baby. He was a first time parent. And I'll never forget when I got the call um that he had been murdered. But anyway, so he was a he was not a negative stereotype. He was not a gangbanger. He was not a quote unquote drug dealer. He was not out here thieving cars. He was not, all those things that they put on people, right? He wasn't any of that. He was actually leaving when he was murdered in cold blood. What was he murdered over? $20. He was murdered over like $20. Okay. Not only was he murdered over $20, the person who murdered him after he shot him, the person that murdered him went and got a cigarette and sat there and watched him die and drown in his own blood. When he was shot, if the ambulance was called, he could have still been alive. But no, he was shot by this person. The person went, smoked a cigarette, smoked a cigarette, watched him die, drowning on his own blood, and then left the apartment to go to work to try and create an alibi of he didn't know what happened. So that is the scene. That is the story. Well, this person, all the evidence, police did their thing. The person went to jail. Went to jail. Now let me tell you all something. Let me tell you all something. When the trial happened, do you know that this person's parents had the nerve the nerve to laugh at my husband, his mother, and his sisters because they were grieving. His parents had the unmitigated fucking gall to laugh at them in the courtroom. So I want y'all to sit with that for a moment. Then on top of that, as they were, you leave courtroom, you go out to the parking lot, you get in your car, you go home or whatever. They had the nerve to try and intimidate my mother-in-law. Had the nerve to try and intimidate her, driving by her car and, kind of trying to slow creep on her. You know, we were just like, I know you fucking lying. But, she was okay. She was fine. Of course, Mr. Hoodoo made sure that they understood his presence was known and you're not about to do anything to his mother. The fucker was sentenced to life in prison. The fucker was sentenced to life in prison as he should be. As he should. And me being the person that I am, I was like, you know what, Q, you gonna curse the shit out of him. Curse the shit out of him because that would be justified retribution. Curse the shit out of him. And curse his parents too. I mean, when I tell y'all I was about to go off the cliff and unload the spiritual cliff. But something told me no. Something told me don't do it. Because when I tell you how I was going to rain fire on them that would have been justified, something told me not to do it. Something told me not to do it. I said, okay. Okay, cool. And this is where, when I tell you all, and we have the conversations about being good people, being decent people, trying to help others, things like that. No one is going to be perfect because humans are incapable of being perfect, right? We are not the creator. But please be decent people. Please be decent people because sometimes you're going to get what you're going to get. You will get what you're going to get. And baby, let me tell you, he got what he got. He got what he got. There was a reason. The spirit was like, no, don't curse him. There was a reason why. Because you know what? Sometimes spirit, the divine, God, whatever you want to call it, has other plans, baby. And listen, these plans were I couldn't duplicate what has happened. He got murdered in jail. He got murdered in jail. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It was not Q. I was gonna fuck him up some. Him and his people. I was gonna fuck him up. But Spirit was like, no, I got you. Baby, he was murdered in jail. He was murdered in jail. And let me tell you something. I don't care if people say, oh my God, Q, you ain't supposed to celebrate this. You ain't supposed to. Let me tell you something. There is no praise for evil doers, and you won't get it over here. But Q, he was a person, he had a family and all of that. I have a family. So yeah, he was murdered in prison. We just found out. We just found it. We just found out he was murdered in prison. And I'm gonna tell you why. I know that this is divine spiritual retribution. I know why. Not only was he murdered in prison, he died the same way my brother-in-law died, drowning in his own blood in a prison full of people, and nobody came to help him. See, when you do clown shit, the clown shit comes back to bite. And now, his parents that laughed at my husband, that laughed at my mother-in-law, that laughed at my sisters-in-law, their pain, now his family will never know peace. They are forever changed. Because how demonic do you have to be to laugh at people grieving over something that your son did to them? Baby, now their family will not know peace. Their family will not know peace. Their son died the exact same way, drowning, with no one there to save him when there were plenty of people that could have saved him. So let me tell y'all something. I say this to say, when you are out here doing clown shit, when you are out here doing clown shit, heinous shit, baby, your spiritual retribution and your earthly retribution, it's going to come. Whether it's delivered by spirit or whether somebody decides to fuck you up for what you did. Okay? And now they have to live with that. They have to live with that memory of that, of their loved one being taken away the same way they did with mine. Okay? Let me also tell you something. Spiritual retribution that is justified is absolutely fine to do. And I'm telling you all this. Okay? So don't ever feel, and this is cute, y'all can do what y'all want to do. When there are people doing wrong to you, you do not let wrong walk around without being punished, whether you do it or spirit do it. You have a conversation with spirit. Spirit will tell you whether to go forward, or spirit will tell you like, no, hold off, I got this. Spirit told me to hold off. Because when I tell you, sometimes I'm actually scared of what I could potentially do to people. Sometimes I'm really, really scared of it. Which is why I try not to get angry, because sometimes my anger alone is enough to trigger change in things and situations and people. Okay. But if people are out here doing fuck shit to you and you did nothing to them, do what you got to do. Have a conversation with spirit, have a conversation with God. Do what you got to do. If spirit tell you like, no, I got this, listen, because I'm telling you, it will happen, baby. But if you get to go ahead to rightfully, justifiably fuck that person up, go ahead and do it. Because we cannot let these different types of evil permeate through the world. We can't, especially when we can do something about it. We can't. Okay? We cannot. So let this be a spiritual lesson, a spiritual story time for you all to think about. For you all to think about, right? Let this be a spiritual let this be a spiritual, lesson, story time for you all to sit and think about. Okay? And like I said, no human is gonna be perfect. But just doing evil shit, just being evil, just being demonic, just being evil and cruel and shit like that. Oh baby. Oh baby. You you might want to stop and, repent, change, apologize, do better, because baby, it will be coming for you. It will be coming for you. It will be coming for you. And it may manifest in ways that you don't like. So yeah, like I said, I say this to say, if there are absolutely people who are purposely harming you, purposely fucking with you, purposely trying to whatever, you have a divine right. You can fuck them up. You can fuck them up. Fortunately for me, I didn't even have to get my hands dirty. And let me also tell you this. Some people's ancestors and spirits, you may want to leave certain people alone. Okay? You may want to leave certain people alone. Okay? So yeah, that was story time. It was something for you all to listen to, something for you all to think about. I am so happy that divine justice was divine justice prevailed. You hear it all the time. What goes around comes around, baby. And this time it came back around. And I don't feel 1 ounce of iota sorry for his family because they were cruel. They were cruel. What happened to their son is a result of their son's behavior. And from what I know of what little I know of their behavior, he probably got it from them. He probably got it from them. Okay? He probably got it from them. I mean, tots and pairs, oh no's and anyways. And I say that fine, fully, with conviction. I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. Mhm. I'm fine with that. And when I tell you we are so happy, we are happy. We are happy because our family member didn't do anything. Our family member literally didn't do anything to that person. Literally nothing. And for you to be so evil to sit there and smoke a cigarette and watch this person die and then try to create an alibi for yourself, okay. Okay, sir. So, like I said, if you can do something about something, do it. Do it. Because you're probably saving other people from having to experience certain things by the degenerates. Okay? Do what you got to do as long as it's justified. Justified. Now, we're not talking about we just going to fuck with people just because. We're not talking about that. That's wrong. And that's what makes it black magic. But when people have been fucking with you, you haven't done anything, you didn't do anything to them, they won't leave you alone, they keep doing this shit. They said that, I'm not, they're trying to take the high road, and then these people keep coming. Fuck them up. Fuck them up. Fuck them up. So, like I said, that was a quick story time, a little bit of a spiritual message in there. Mhm. Mhm. So, if some of you don't like me after this or Q, why are you such a I understand that that's your right to disassociate from me. I'm not here to make you change your mind if you are wherever you are with your how you think about things, that's fine. But I'm also here to tell you that um sometimes people get fucked up and they should be fucked up for the heinous shit that they do. And it's your job to right wrongs if you can. And it's just so funny. It's just so funny. Let me just say this one last thing before I go. It's so funny because I see, what people say and what people really think are two different things. People say that, oh no, it's wrong and it's like that, coming out of people's mouth. But some people's favorite movies and stories and stuff like that is retribution. It's retribution. Okay. The Beekeeper, one of my favorite movies. I fucking love The Beekeeper because Jason Statham as Adam Clay, then people did that to Felicia Rashad's character in the movie. He had to go right the fucking wrong. He had to go do it. Okay. Any of these other movies, fighting the wrongs is what we're supposed to do. You can't let evil shit just permeate out here in society. It's gonna infect other shit. It's gonna affect other shit. All these other movies where something happened to somebody's family. I mean, look at the Equalizer. The Equalizer is the same thing. It's justified retribution. What did he say? I love Equalizer 3. He said in Equalizer 3, and if you haven't seen Equalizer 3 with Denzel Washington baby over there tearing shit up in Italy, go ahead and watch it. Equalizer 3. He was sitting there, he saw the shit happening in the town. He saw the shit happening in the town. He tried his best to stay out of it, but they just went too fucking far and he dealt with the shit. So people keep saying, oh, don't do that. No, no, no. Our society likes tales of retribution, justified, defined, divine retribution. So society likes that. Okay, Peppermint. The movie Peppermint. Who is that? Hillary Swank? Them people killed her family, and the judges and everybody else was in on it, and she took their asses out. Divine retribution. Sometimes you have to take out the trash. Sometimes you have to take out the trash. So, right, Colombiana, right. Sometimes you just have to take out the trash. You got to do it. So, when people out here, oh no, don't do that. Movies hopping to number one. We like that shit. Society just tells you not to do it, but secretly we like that shit, and it should be done. So let me just say this: I am definitely here to fuck up the evildoers. It's part of my mission. Maybe it's part of yours too. Okay, maybe it's part of yours too. Okay, so yeah, think about that for as long as you need to think about it. Think about that for as long as you need to think about it. And if there is a way that you can help people, please help people. Please help your community if you can, or helping one person, or even just doing one kindness for one person today, maybe tomorrow, maybe this month. Do a kindness because there's too much evil out here in the world that needs to be dealt with. Oh, but baby, me and mine, not only are we going to deal with it, but it needs to be dealt with. It needs to be dealt with. So I love y'all. I will try to come back a little bit later. I need to get my life together It's almost 11 o'clock here in California. I need to go get my life together. I'm gonna try to come back to y'all later on today so we can talk spiritual stuff, so I can show y'all some things. Okay. And we may have a community day this week. Community day, as in, I might do some free readings or, free little spiritual consultations or something like that. Cause I know everyone isn't where I am financially. And I understand some people can't afford my prices. So this is why I'm instituting the community days to try and give back to spiritually to people who need help, right? Or just need their questions answered. So, hey, Clarence, how are you? It's so good to see you, Clarence. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy to see you, Clarence. Hey, Mons. So, with that being said, I love y'all. Something for you all to think about. Okay. Like, comment, describe. Said Dream Girl says, I like when he said he did something about it because he could. Right, right. And this is the thing. There are too many things happening out here in the world to people, and no one is doing anything, especially when there are people who can do something. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. So that's it. That's all. Something for y'all to think about. I love y'all. I'm gonna try to come back to y'all a little bit later. So I love y'all. Y'all have a great Monday wherever you are in your day. And I'm gonna talk to y'all a little later. All right. He said, Elon being the first person to become a trillionaire and what spirit thinks of a lot of wealth. Interesting. See, wealth, there's nothing wrong with wealth. There is nothing wrong with wealth, right? We are not supposed to be without. There is a difference in wealth being made off of the backs of evilness versus wealth and money being made doing something good for society, right? There's a complete difference in that. And a lot of times with companies and businesses, when they get to that point, a lot of times, not all times, a lot of times it's done off of harming other people. And that's when it's wrong. That's when it's wrong. If you built your business up because you have an idea or something like that, you don't cut corners, you're doing customer service correctly, you're not harming people, you're not harming the environment or whatever, that's different. But when you're building your wealth and you could pay people better, or you're running a slave shop, or something along those lines, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Okay. And we saw what happened. Okay. Super Mario's brother, United Healthcare CEO. The North remembers. Okay, the North remembers. And that's the distinction between the two. That's the distinction between the two. Thank you so much. I'll be here, be away for a little while, but I'm back. Many blessings to you. Many blessings to you too. But yeah, like I said, that was just a quick little story time. Let me get out of here. I'm gonna try to come back to y'all a little bit later. All right. Love y'all. Bye.